This is Shirley from Shirley's World Vlog, and I'm here every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for just a chat. I sell on eBay and Poshmark, but do other types of videos also. And I usually have a gang that follows me to my live chats, but nobody's here tonight yet. They're usually here before me. So I'm going to give people a few more minutes because today didn't go at all like I wanted it to go. I had a whole set of other plans, and something happened in the middle of the night that really screwed up my plans for the day. So let's see if anybody comes on tonight. I know I haven't been good at putting videos on. I still haven't gotten the recorded video on that I have planned. Yeah, we'll see if there's anybody coming on to have a talk tonight. The only one here is my dog Penny. She's here. Well, let me tell you what I did this week. This week, Wednesday, which was yesterday, Samantha came, and she's the girl that helps me. She comes every week. For every other week, she cleans, and then the weeks in between, we usually do something different. It's different all the time. Sometimes we go shopping. Sometimes we just do some decluttering here around the house. And we actually did both yesterday. I have started to put together the things for tax season. Don't you just hate this time of year? I have to get together all my eBay, all my reselling, things, and get that all set to send to my tax guy. So I was doing that this week earlier, and I decided there were 3 bins that I wanted to clean out over here. Just full of papers. I just keep shoving things in. Hi, Janet. Hi, you're the first one here. Yeah, I was just saying that I got some decluttering done with Samantha's help. And I have oodles of files and things that I have to declutter and put in bags for shredding. Now I have to call the city and find out. They have a time where you can get things shredded. Get things shredded free twice a year, in the spring and the fall. So I have to call. I don't want to miss this date in the spring. So before, hi Jane, and Riri's here too. Yeah, so we cleaned out files from banking things and from my old Humana stuff, from the insurance stuff. Things I've had for years and years, because I just kept shoving things in this box. So most everything could be thrown out. So we filled up one bag that it wasn't too heavy, because paper's heavy. These are all things to be shredded. And then we moved on to another file in that room. And in that file is where I found all this neat stuff. In the very back of where I keep all my animal things, I have all the vets reports, everything from all my animals, all my cats, all my horses, all my dogs, everything in that file. And behind there were my yearbooks from high school. 3 years of yearbooks when I was a sophomore, a junior, and a senior. All 3 books. And underneath those books were all my old diaries. I'm talking about old diaries. I started having a diary when I was like I think it was like 4th or 5th grade, back in grade school. I have always had some sort of a diary. The diaries back then were these little books, with a little lock on. I should have brought them here to show you. And I kept a diary about all my boyfriends, people, these boys in school, in grade school, this was, that, I was so in love with, I couldn't live without all this. They're a scream to read. And then I kept little spiral notebooks as a diary all through junior high school and all through high school. After that, then there was a break. I didn't have anything written down. And that was when it's when I wish I would have had things, because it's when I first got married to my first husband and had my kids. I guess I was too busy. So I don't have anything written about when I was bringing up the kids, when they were real little, which is really unfortunate. But I started writing not in diaries and not like a journal, but I would have these big calendars that would lay on a counter, so you had a big space to write. And that's how I kept my journal. Every day I would write what I did, and some of the writing's so small I can hardly read it. But I have written some sort of written journals from when the kids were, say, 8 or 9 through today. I have always kept that type of a journal, whether it would be in a date book or on a big calendar or written in spiral notebooks in a journal. I have always done that. Yes, I don't know if they'll be interested in reading it, but I certainly have a history of myself. But yeah, then we have YouTube here. And before YouTube, I have a blog. I must like to write about myself, is all I can figure out. It's funny because when I told my sister all these things that I found, she says that's so strange because she never even kept a diary. So, yeah, I think that is strange. I've always kept a diary. Then besides the diaries, I found all my old report cards from grade school through high school. All my report cards. I I was not a very good history. Uh, didn't ever do real good in history for some reason, except for 1 year. I think it was ninth grade. I got A's and B's in history in just that 1 year. And I'm thinking it probably had to do with the teacher who made it interesting because I never did well in history before, ever, which is strange because now I'm interested in history. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, I was actually hoping I'm still on the lookout to find that. I know I have it someplace. I have a sign. It's either measles or chicken pox. It's the sign that the health department gave you back when we were little kids, when me and my sister were little kids, and back when we got the measles and the chicken pox, and you had to put the sign on your house that you were quarantined. And I have one of them, and I can't. Every once in a while, I run across it, and I haven't found it again yet. But when I do, for sure, I'll show it to you. Hi, Bumblebee. Okay. Yeah. But I was your typical very young teenager, very innocent, very young, innocent teenager when you would just fall in love with everybody. I would be in love with one boy who didn't even know I existed. None of them knew I existed, of course, until later on, like in my junior and senior years in high school, is actually when I actually really had a date. But before then, I was just in love, and they didn't have any idea. Yeah, it's so funny to read. It is a treasure to have. Ah, would make a very good book. Oh dear. So that's what I am. I haven't near gotten through all my diaries. Uh, the ones in the spiral notebooks are mostly the ones during ninth, like ninth through 12th grade. So, uh, yeah, at least I think I had boyfriends that actually knew who I was back then, at that point. But it was about my girlfriends and about, you know, we had a lot of slumber parties back then. That was a big thing. And yeah, it's just so much fun. Brings back a lot of really good memories, things I had forgotten completely about. Uh, yeah, but I have to start reading in the spiral notebooks because there was a lot more room to write, and they're filled. Um, the little tiny diaries, you only have a tiny space like this, so the writing was just shoved in there. And of course, when you're so young, you don't write good in the first place. It's very hard to make out what I was actually writing. But if you'll excuse me for 30 seconds, I will, because I put them back here again, I'll go and show you these little diaries from grade school. Okay, thanks for waiting. Okay, here's the first little diary. It's a 5-year diary, and it has a little lock here. It had a key at some point, and some place I was reading in here, I had lost the key, and then it says when I finally write in it again, it says I opened my diary with a bobby pin, but this is just old. You know, you only had that much space to write in, so it's very hard to read. And some of the years I wrote, like this was one year. It was 1954, I think. Yeah. On the top line, this was 1954. And then down here, I started writing again, and that was 1956. So 2 years later, I picked this up again and started writing for a short time in it. But I got this for my birthday. So this just goes from May 4th to the end of the year. So fun things in this in this book. I was madly in love with a guy named Gordon Scott Smith. He didn't know I existed, but yeah, Gordon Scott Smith. I forget. He's the one that I mostly. And then there was another one, somebody Becker. I don't even remember who he was, to tell you the truth. But that was the one. And then I got another one as a present. This is tiny. And this was from 56. Yeah, 1956. You had a little, it's a 5-year diary, so you don't have much space at all, but I just took up more space. But I got these as presents, like for my birthday. Yeah, this is still saying Shirley. You know, you put the heart, Shirley and Gordon Scott Smith. And this one was a gift. Yeah, this says Shirley and Gordon Scott Smith. So funny. Another thing that I noticed from all the yearbooks and everything, everybody signed things. For 2 of my birthdays, I got autograph books. So people would, write neat things in your autograph books. This is my girlfriend, Midgie. She wrote, and I put some pictures of her in here. But yeah, all these little things. That's another friend of mine, Gloria Martin. I even had my dog. I put her paw print here. And that was one of the Cocker Spaniels we had. Her name was Becky. But yeah, it's just, I forget who gave this to me. I think it was my aunt. Yeah, Aunt Ada and Uncle Harold. It was a present for my birthday in 1954. And then another autograph book. This was from, I don't know what the date is in this one, but people just write these little sayings in these, all through these books. It was a big thing, writing autograph books. And then all over my yearbooks, then you would sign the yearbooks. Everybody, all your friends, you'd sign their yearbooks and write a little, something in there. So the yearbooks are always all signed up. So yeah, it took me all from late afternoon yesterday, all evening, and I'm still not done with the diaries. So yeah, it's fun. Please, they're not my my writings from my diaries. Oh, they're just stupid. Because I'll have to wait until I have some when I was older. But like here, these are when I was real young. So in 1954, I was 12 years old, is when I wrote this diary. I have to get here on Thursday. Wait, let me pick a better one here that I can read. The writing is horrible. Well, I'll just pick one. This is Sunday, May 9th. Went to church, came home, went to Grandma Vorp's. That's my mother's mother. And when we came home, there were I can't read that. Oh, they were sure I had the measles. The tests are coming. And I remember reading this, and I didn't have the measles that time. Stayed home today, had temperature of 101, didn't have anything to eat until supper. I'm very dizzy and have a headache. I don't have the measles, it says on the 11th. Stayed home, doctor's orders. Read a book. Have to stay home tomorrow too, doctor said. I'm worried about the tests they started on Monday. I have no idea what that is. Maybe then it points up that I didn't have the measles. Must have been the measles test for that was. There was one here where here it is. I remember doing this. Went to school, had one test. After school, had two more. This morning, when Mom was taking my temperature, I stuck the thermometer, or temperature, I meant the thermometer, in the light bulb, or touching the light bulb to make it go up high. But then I shook it down again. I remember doing that. But of course, when you touch these were little mercury thermometers, glass thermometers. I remember, but it shot up to the end of the thermometer. I didn't figure she'd believe that. I mean, it's a wonder the thing didn't explode. But I shook it down again, because then you'd shake the mercury down and decide to go back to school again. It's just dumb stuff like that. I think my more interesting ones came when I fell in love with the boy that lived across the street from my uncle's farm out in East Springfield. His name was Butch Ward. He was really cute. I remember that. But I used to go out and sometimes spend a week on the farm. I mean, before I decided I was in love with Butch Ward. And I would do all kinds of farm stuff, helping at the farm, picking apples. It was a big apple farm. Helping pick apples, helping plant beans. That's probably why when I got my love of the country and love of gardening. And I even drove the tractor. And I read one place, my cousins were on the tractor with me and they let me drive and they were calling me Hot Rod. It's one of the things. But yeah, because kids drove tractors and that back on the farms, then, you didn't have to be of driving age. But I remember having so much fun at the farm. A lot of good memories there. Jane, you still have a diary or a journal? Yeah. I have no idea what Butch ever did after. My cousin, I had two cousins that lived at the farm. Well, actually, three. David, Walter, David, and Philip. Walter died. He just didn't wake up one morning. And I never found out anything about how he died, what he died of. He was young, you know. But then there was David, and he was the baseball player. He was a professional baseball player. So everything to do with David had to do with baseball. And then Philip, my other cousin, all he could think about was flying airplanes. He started flying little model airplanes, and then he was in the Civil Air Patrol, I remember. And then he learned to actually fly real little planes. And then he turned out to be an airline pilot. He worked for American Airlines, probably other ones too. But I remember American Airlines. And his whole career, he was an airline pilot. Yeah. So they were all boys. And when I would go to visit, they'd make fun of me all the time. But I just loved to go out to the farm. It was a farm of produce. It was not, there weren't any animals. Well, there was dogs. They didn't even have chickens, come to think of it, which was kind of strange. Now, right across the street at Butch's house, directly across the road, was another huge farm, and that was his parents' farm. And they had cows, because sometimes I would go over in the morning if my aunt needed milk, and I'd pick up a big jug of milk, raw milk, from the farm across the street. But they had apples too, but they also had cows, and I don't remember what else. I was interested in Butchie, not the animals. Mhm. But yeah, that was fun. No, this was my father's brother owned the farm, Clifford. My Aunt Ella and Uncle Clifford, they owned the farm in East Springfield, Pennsylvania. Uh, yeah, my father grew up on a farm. My grandma Wickersham, big farm lady. Uh, she came from the Quakers, my grandma Wickersham. But she was a Cane Stompin' Baptist. She was the one who made sure we went to church for sure. But yeah. Yeah, finding all these diaries and all these books, it's really bringing me back a lot of memories now. Really old memories. But I have to tell you what happened last night. I fully intended on going to Goodwill today. I wanted to go to Goodwill and get some hard goods. And I was going to do a haul video tonight. However, during the middle of the night, you know, when you're old, you have to get up to go to the bathroom a couple times a night. So I got up. I think the second time I got up, and in my bare feet, of course, I somehow in the bathroom, I hit my foot, my toe, on the leg of a stool that's in there. I don't know how I hit it so hard, but I, it just about killed me. Do you know how much pain it causes when you get older and you do something to your toes? I would show you a picture of this toe, but they're your feet aren't pretty when you get older, and I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I had so much pain it's my right foot and it's my fourth toe, the one next to my little toe. That little toe. Not the littlest, but the next one. For sure, I knew it was broken. I had so much pain in it. So I went back to bed, and in the morning, because I had had my feet up sleeping all night, it still wasn't bruised. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it isn't broken because when you break a toe or most anything, you have bruising. Okay. So, but all I had to do is be down, be walking around a little bit. And I'm limping around this morning, especially. It's a little better now. I took some Advil and it's bruised now. I sent a picture of it to my sister, but there's nothing to do with a broken toe. I mean, I was an ER nurse. I know that there's no sense. You don't go to the ER for a broken toe unless it's completely like if you dislocate your little toe or your big toe so that it's sticking out sideways, you'd have to go get that put back into place, or you couldn't put shoes on. But just to fracture a toe, no, they don't do anything. They tape it to the toe next to it like a splint. Well, it was I couldn't find any half-inch tape until just a little while ago. And I couldn't believe I didn't have any. And then I thought, well, I should look in the chicken's first aid box. And that's where I found it. I found some half-inch tape, and I'm going to tape my toe when I get done here. Because I know how to do it, how you put it around and cross it, and you do a whole bunch of those. I used to like to tape people's broken toes. Right. You tape it to the next one. It acts like a little splint is all it does. So that's what I'm going to do. There's nothing to be done. Take some Advil. So it hurts to have, shoes on. I made myself wear shoes. I don't want to hit my toe again for sure. But I'm limping around and I couldn't go, to Goodwill. I didn't want to go walking around. So I didn't get there. I'll see how it feels tomorrow. Maybe it'll be good enough tomorrow that I can go for a little while. But yes, I broke my toe. A dumb accident, just dumb. But, I thought about it, and there's always a good reason for things to happen. A Evidently, I wasn't supposed to go to Goodwill today. Who knows why, you know? I'll just go with it. Things happen usually for a reason. When you broke your toe, they told me to tape it, yeah, to the next toe. Right. That's all you do. Because people would come in the ER and then you'd be charged for an ER visit and they'd x-ray it, which is really dumb. You'd get charged all this money and they don't do anything. You just tape we'd just tape it to the next toe. Uh, so yeah, I'm glad I was a nurse in the ER for all those years because I do remember, some things, some at least some first aid things. Uh, uh, my sister asked me, it was just a few weeks ago. Oh, I know. It's when I told you that when that pastor that I listened to, they had a 911 in the audience. And I was telling my sister about it. And she's a nurse too. And she said, would if you had been in the audience, would you have run over there at our age? Would you go over there and help? And I thought about it for a while. And yes, I think I would automatically I would automatically do that. I would automatically, start CPR, although it's much different now than it used to be. There's no mouth to mouth resuscitation anymore. Uh, yeah, you had to wear a bigger shoe. Well, the one good thing about these shoes that I wear around the house are these Birkenstocks, if I can get it off. And Birkenstocks, they have all this room up here for your feet, for your toes. So luckily, I wear these, which gives me plenty of room. Now, I did put my barn boots on to go out to the chickens today, but there's enough room in my barn boots that it was okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's strange things happen. It's your favorite shoe. Oh, I've worn these for years. I think that's why my feet spread out. I didn't used to wear my when I go find a shoe that fits me, it's usually a wide, and I think wearing these Birkenstocks is why. I didn't used to wear wide shoes. I used to just wear these like garden clogs. I'd wear them out in the garden, like when I was gonna get my feet would get wet in the garden and muddy because you can just hose them off. But then I just started wearing them all the time because they're just so comfortable. And just put a pair of tennis shoes or sneakers on to go someplace. Now half the time I just keep these on. Uh, but most of the time, in the winter, I put my barn boots on to go anywhere. Yes, comfort is the most important thing when you get older, for sure. Style goes out the window, at least for me, and comfort. is all important. Yeah, so that's my sad story about today and my broken toe. But I'm glad that we got the started on getting the files cleaned out. We started on the great big file, and we did the two easiest drawers. Now the two top drawers are so full. This is a big oak file, one of those really deep ones. The drawers are so heavy you can hardly pull them out. That's how much stuff in there. So I think if we can do one drawer, like next week she cleans, so that won't be one of the days, but the week after. If we can just do one drawer when she helps me, because she pulls the drawer and then she brings me a, a bunch of stuff, and then I go through it so that I'm not having to do all of that. It really helps to have two people. It helps me get motivated. I'm all set up in the basement to start my winter seed sowing. I bought one of those big table cover things so the dirt doesn't get all over the place. And I ordered a great big bag of potting soil. So it's all down there ready to go. All I have to do is go down there and do it. But I don't want to go up and down the steps too much today because of this toe. But hopefully in this next week I will get it should go fast because the jugs are all made. All I have to do is, get the dirt wet, put them in the jugs, plant the seeds, and put them outside. So we'll see. If I find any good things in the diaries that I'm reading now from high school, I will mark them and I'll read some excerpts from. And I'll look up the ones about Butch at the farm too. I'm not sure which books they were in. I don't know if they were in this book or not. I remember when we had like 5 girls when we were in grade school. We started a club. It was called the Crazy Kittens Club. And we started calling it the KKK Club, Crazy Kittens Club, because we did crazy with the K. And my father says, you can't do that. You can't be writing KKK on stuff. And we had no idea why. I mean, we were just really innocent back then. But yeah, he said that we couldn't do that. So we didn't. But yeah, the Crazy Kittens Club. We would meet once a week at different, sometimes it was at my house, sometimes it was at Midgie's house. So, I don't know what we do. Just talk. And I'm not sure exactly what we did. Maybe I should read better in the diaries, see if we actually did. I know when we got close to junior high, we would have parties. I know we had a Hawaiian party and we'd invite people. And I remember we all had to get dressed up like we made grass skirts and made flower leis. Yeah, I remember that was at Midgie's house. We had a Hawaiian party. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't real. It was when we were in grade school, so you can imagine. I have in there about me selling my pot holders around the neighborhood. I'd make on those little looms you could buy with those little stretchy things. I made pot holders and I sold the pot hold. I think I sold them for a quarter. Ah, so just dumb stuff. But what a nice childhood I had. My sister and I often say that we grew up in the last best time. I believe that. You still have a loom? They still have those. Yeah. I don't think I have any more of the pot holders. For a while I did. I don't know if my sister has any more of those or not. I know my mother had a million of them because we were making pot holders like crazy. Oh, yeah. Theme parties. Yeah, we had theme parties. Ah. Midgie's yard was bigger than our yard, and that's where we played croquet a lot, but we always played it at her house. Midgie lived on a street that was like 5 blocks from my house, Patterson Avenue in Erie, and she lived, like, at the top of the hill, and then she had a really good street for in the winter. uh, they blocked off the street, and you could sled ride down the street. So, if we had a big snow and they did that, we'd always go over there and go sled riding on Patterson. Just the more I think about things, the more memories come back all the time. There was 2 doors away from Midgie's house. What was her name? There was another young girl, same age as us, and in their backyard, they had a huge swing. I don't remember it being on a tree, but I think it was on some sort of a pole, but it was hung so high. You know, when a swing is hung really high, it glides slower and you can go higher. You know, when it's hung low, you just go like this. This was hung really high, and you could swing so high on that swing. Yeah, I remember that swing. It was the best swing in the neighborhood. Oh, well, that's about all the memories my little brain can shoot out tonight. I wanted to show you when I found all this stuff in the drawer. Also, I found some things I can sell. Uh, I don't know if any of you remember these flags. Now I had little garden flags too. They were on a little stake, and the garden flags were only about that big. But these were flags that you put on a pole on your house, and they were decorative flags. And I think I used some of these, but some of them I didn't. And they're 20, I think they're 24 by 48 is the size. But here's one with the beehive. They all had to do with nature, I think, or gardening, because I was big into gardening. When we moved out here, that's why we moved out here, is so I could garden. And this is the one that actually looks like, I can tell this was hung out in the winter, because this is a winter one. This one. They're all in perfect shape. This one could do a little bit of a washing. But the rest of them don't even look like they've been used. Here's a what is this, a pineapple? Got it right. Yeah. Yeah, like a pineapple, which I think means welcome. Doesn't a pineapple mean welcome? See, they're all kind of that folk artsy type style. And that's sort of what I decorated in. Sort of primitive folk art type thing. Look at this cute one. I should give this one to my daughter. She loves cats so much. Look at this one. How cute is that? Ah. And then I have one in a package, and this is from my store, because we sold Boyd's Bears, and this is still in the package. And this is this is Homer the baseball bear. But here's the picture of what the flag looks like. This little Boyd's bear here, right there. And that's like these flags too. Oh, it's just like you put this up during baseball season. So I think I can probably sell those. I used to have a wooden pole that I'd replace. I'd put in the pole holder out there on the house and hang those, part of the time. Yeah, you love the cat. I love that cat one too. Yeah. What year? What one? The Boyd's Bear? Should have a year on here someplace. I don't see one. 28 inches by 40 inches. It's for sure vintage. I mean, that's when I sold these. Back when I had an antique shop. It doesn't give the exact year of this one. It does have a what you call it mark here. that I could probably find out that information, but it doesn't say here. But yeah. Would be in the probably 80s. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'll look it up before I put it on, but barcode. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if my phone. Let's see. My phone has a barcode reader on, I think. Does just the if I just Google Lens it, will it tell me? Or eBay it? Let me try it. Okay. Let me try. This says Boyd's Bears and Friends. Let me try eBay. No. I'm sure someplace on my phone I have a barcode reader. I'll find out for you and find out. Homer the baseball. Homer the baseball. There's a lot of Boyd's Bears flags, lots of them. Oh, here he is. $25. That's what it's showing. That's what they're asking, though. It's not. That doesn't mean what they're selling for. I have to look it up. I hate to take up time when I'm supposed to be talking to you. Yeah, but there's all kinds of these decorative flags on the people, Google Lens will read barcodes. That's what I thought, but when I tried it, it didn't tell me much. To try in better lighting. Hi, Stein. Jeff Rosenthal. Jeff, are you new? I don't remember having you on my list. Where are you from? Put these things. Oh, you're from Massachusetts. Southeastern Massachusetts. Let me put you on our list here. My second page. Okay. Jeff Rosen. Massachusetts. You're welcome. We have people from all over the United States, Canada, Britain, and you know who hasn't been here lately is the two from Australia. Your wife and you've watched your videos, and this is the first time you're able to see us live. Well, welcome. I'm glad you caught us. Yeah, I'm on Thursday evenings and Sunday afternoons. Thank you, Stein. Yes, remember to hit the like button and please subscribe. I always forget to say that stuff. That's why they made me a sign here that I can have that here because I keep forgetting to say anything. It's sort of bleached out right now, but like, subscribe, and share. uh, I did find somebody who was the one telling me about the other lady. She's 88, not 88. She's 80 something. And she comes on and tells stories. I've watched numerous of hers now. She's a very good storyteller. Now I see that she's written a book I mean, before this, and she's written a cookbook. Yeah. So it's getting to be that time. 8 o'clock is when I have to go give my cat her insulin. It snowed again this evening, and I'm hoping it's not going to be icy. Because I can't handle a broken toe and ice, walking on ice. I do have a big path made of the straw. So it's not slippery, so I can get out to the barn and let the chickens in and out. So I took them a treat tonight because it's going to be cold. I took them some corn on the cob, some kale, some sprouted bread, and what else was in there? I guess that's it. I should have sprinkled some oats in there. It's still too slippery for me to get over to my bird feeders to fill. So what I do is I open my window on that side of the house and I throw my bird seed out as far as I can throw it. So at least they'll have some bird seed on the ground. I don't have yes, I have a set, but I can't get them on my shoes. They either don't have any stretch anymore or they're too small of a size. Yeah. Yeah, my son gave me a pair of those like 2 years ago. He got them on my boots, but that's him. I can't make my hands do that. I couldn't get them on then. All right, folks, I have to go feed my cat and do her shot and tape my toe. Well, I hope that'll make it feel better too, because it's about time for another Advil. It's surprising how much a little toe can hurt. So I will see you all on Sunday at 4 o'clock. I have sold some things this week. And after I started this, I had another sale come on. So I will see you on Sunday and tell you what I sold. So everybody be good, be blessed. God is good all the time. And I will see you then. Oh, the Daytona 500's on. Okay, you watch that because you can always catch me on the replay. Okay. Thank you for joining though tonight. Thank you. See you then, everybody. Bye.